Hi friends, spring is in full swing and I am feeling so inspired by so many beautiful looks in fashion right now. Some of which are trends, others of which might just be me, some of which I already wear and love, others of which I'm really more admiring from afar, but all of which are bringing me so much joy and inspiration. So today, I just want to talk about them. The fashion and trends I'm loving right now and why. Let's get into it. The first style I have been loving lately is a neck scarf, like a jaunty little scout neckerchief. This is a look I've generally been a fan of for years. I've had this little neckerchief since college, but honestly, I feel like I haven't been fully confident wearing it until quite recently. Maybe because I've just come into my style more in recent years. Maybe because I finally figured out how to tie it in a way that lays nicely. Maybe because it's been a bit of a trend lately, so I feel less silly in it. It's probably a combination of all three, but either way, it is something I have just been eating up lately. I can't get enough. I'm constantly saving it on my Pinterest, and I have even been bringing it into my real life outfits. So that's how you know I'm serious about it. What do I love about these neck scarves? Firstly, I love that they go where a necklace would normally go, but they add more interest than a necklace typically does. Just by being a bit bigger and normally having multiple colors and a pattern or something, they really are the perfect way to add a little pop of color or pattern to an outfit. Also, I love that they can really be added to any outfit. They feel quite gender neutral. They can be dressed up or down. They're surprisingly versatile while still adding so much personality to a look. Another thing I love about these neck scarves is they feel a bit whimsical. One could say twee, very Wes Anderson, but they're also chill and easy and unfussy to wear. I mean, I'm sure not everyone thinks this, but I think you can make them read as super casual and understated, especially if you have a really chill, comfy, understated scarf, like just a neutral cotton bandana or something. But they can also work at a larger, more dramatic scale. They can really be as subtle or a statement as you want, all while staying comfy and generally unencumbered, which is a big plus because I find that a lot of dramatic and whimsical clothing can end up sacrificing comfort and practicality. So I love that this offers both. The next look that I am finding myself really drawn to this spring is ornate, organic, detailed patterns. And I'm gonna get into why in a moment, but I actually have some new pieces with this feature to show you that I got from today's sponsor, online consignment/thrift store ThredUp, which is a great online secondhand shopping resource. You all know I shop almost exclusively secondhand. At this point, it is so much more sustainable than shopping firsthand. And I think the best way to get high quality at an affordable price, which ThredUp makes extremely easy. You can search by keyword and filter by size, color, brand, and probably my favorite filter option, fabric. You all know I'm so picky about fabric. I talk about it constantly. And the fact that I can just filter my results to show me 100% cotton garments only, unmatched. And yes, every clothing piece I'm about to show you is 100% cotton. Firstly, I got this blue paisley midi skirt, originally from Talbot's. The estimated retail price was $109, but I got it for $39.99. And I paired it with this plain blue tank top, a classic staple I have been looking for. This was originally from J.Crew and the estimated retail price was $40, but I got it for $6.99. Next, I got this fluffy little J.Crew skirt. The estimated retail price was $90, but I got it for $11.50. Another staple I've been looking for is a white boxy short sleeve button down, and this Madewell one is perfect. The estimated retail price was $95, but I got it for $13.99. Finally, my favorite piece, this absolutely gorgeous J.Crew dress. Can you tell J.Crew is one of my favorite brands to thrift? And isn't this dress just immaculate? The estimated retail price was $148, but I got it for $21.50. All of these pieces were paired with two more staples I have been hunting for, the perfect tall brown leather boots and a brown leather shoulder bag. These boots are originally Divine Folie, and the estimated retail price is $286, but I got them for $27.50. And the bag's estimated retail price is $106, but I got it for $21.50. Whether you're looking to shop secondhand for fashion you're loving right now, or wardrobe staples you'll wear season after season, ThredUp is a great option. So click my link below and use code BEAT50 to get 50% off your first order. Okay, now let's get into the look itself. You saw it in the skirts and dress. Intricate organic patterns. This is another thing I've already been a fan of more recently. I sewed these pieces myself last summer that have this sort of pattern. I also love pattern mixing with small patterns like this. And now I'm just feeling even more into it than I was last year. Why do I think this is? Firstly, I think sharper, cleaner, more geometric lines and shapes have just been more popular in the last couple of years, like plaid, stripes, even polka dots recently. And I'm definitely still into stripes and plaid, and I probably always will be. Those have always been present in my wardrobe. But lately, I think I've been missing the more muddled, soft, detailed, organic look of things like ditzy florals, paisley, this sort of thing. It feels less stark dark and graphic and a bit more wild and whimsical. And I think because that wild, whimsical look is appealing to me lately, having multiple of these patterns combined together is even more appealing because it's even more wild and whimsical. It feels very rich and detailed to me, almost like a painting or even like a children's book illustration. I'm thinking like Jan Brett vibes. Jan Brett Nation rise up, if you know, you know. I would say it even feels a little folksy. Maybe because it's kind of patchworky and that's folksy and crafty, and I always love styles in fashion that channel a sense of craft and history and cultural tradition. But I also like how pieces like these that have multiple pattern fabrics together, but not like a true full-on patchworky look, have that whimsy of patchwork, but also feel a little more subtle and elevated, but still so whimsical and cute. It's the perfect balance. Next we have maybe the most truly spring-inspired thing on this list, which is garden clogs. I really don't know what has come over me because I haven't been super drawn to clogs in general. There's a wide variety of them on the market and none of them have ever really spoken to me until all of a sudden, this particular style, the garden clogs, came into my awareness and something about them just grabbed me. These almost feel like they're between clogs and flats, stylistically. Two styles I do not historically like, but I think it's because I often find more like 90s, 2000s, or even 70s inspired clogs to be a little too clunky. And I think I also just like can't get over the 2000s association they have with like my elementary school teachers. But then I find flats to be a little too dainty and low profile. And I can't get over the associations those have with me being an elementary schooler or a middle schooler. And then these shoes are in between in a way that kind of avoids the issues of both of the other two. They're neither too clunky nor too dainty to me. They avoid feeling outdated in either of those directions. And they end up being this like kind of sleek and understated, but also still kind of wide and substantive shoe that I somehow love. I also think the association with gardening is making me love these even more. It reminds me of like farmers markets and connecting with the earth and sharing in community with other people through growing and sharing food and plants. I've actually been seeing so many gardening related things popping up lately in fashion. I keep seeing farmers market motifs everywhere, from Lisa Says God, Tyler McGillivray, to Parade, to Target. I feel like if it were like 2021, everyone would be talking about garden core right now. We just like don't categorize aesthetics that way anymore. And I also think this kind of goes beyond aesthetics. This is kind of a lifestyle movement that's happening, and that's what's informing the fashion movement. True lifestyle movements are where the best fashion movements come from. The point is, this is all to say, I like garden clogs just for what they are, but also for the gardening association, which I think has like the same fantasy appeal that cottagecore had in 2020, but instead of the isolationist escapist fantasy of that lockdown era, this is romanticizing a more community-oriented earthy vibe, which is something I think I and so many others are finding so much value in right now. I'm actually loving so many gardening-related themes and motifs in fashion right now, but these clogs are just what brought it into focus for me. I don't even know if I'll end up like buying any garden clogs. I don't actually own any right now. I don't have any plans to buy any. I just had a lot to say about them. We'll see if I stumble across them secondhand. Okay, the next look I'm really into right now, I don't have as much analysis for, but it is just different lengths in necklaces, specifically longer necklaces. For the past several years, honestly, it's been quite a while. Shorter necklaces have been the mainstream trend pretty much exclusively, and it definitely is still the dominant trend at the moment, but longer necklaces have been slowly creeping back in, and I have been finding myself warming up to them. I feel like this is a case study in the power of trends and the trend cycle, because the idea that a longer or shorter necklace looks inherently better or worse is like a little ridiculous. And yet I have had an aversion to longer necklaces for years purely because they look so outdated to me. And it's so silly because like I could recognize the whole time, it's not that I thought it looked bad. It's not that long necklaces look silly or like disproportionate or unflattering or anything like that. They just brought me back to 2012 so hard that I could not do it. It's like every time I see it, I'm immediately transported back to 2012. I'm a freshman in high school, and that's just not the vibe. But lately, really throughout the past year or so, I would say, I've been seeing longer necklaces popping up more and more, and I've been surprised to realize that I am no longer averse to them, but actually, I'm maybe even a little drawn to them. And it's not that I like had to see them a bunch of times to undo the aversion to them that I had. I really think it is just that enough time had passed that when I finally started seeing them again, I was already ready to like them again. Does that make sense? Which again, I think is just the perfect example of how the trend cycle works. Whenever it's been long enough that something from the past no longer seems outdated, that's when it gets brought back. I think it's also helping that I'm seeing them styled in quite different ways now, namely layered with shorter necklaces, which I think works so well because it gives it a more dimensional layered look and still keeps the eyes like drawn upward closer to the face. Because to be clear, I have absolutely no aversion now to shorter necklaces. It's not like, I'm done with short necklaces. Now I like long necklaces. It's like, I still love the short ones, but I am now once again open to a longer necklaces as well, or to stacking them together. I actually already had just one long necklace. This chain is like a family hand-me-down I've had forever. And I don't know if anyone noticed, but I actually wore it layered with a shorter necklace in last week's video, and I loved how it looked. Overall, I'm happy to be welcoming longer necklaces back into the rotation. Also, just a side note, if you're interested in adding some long necklaces to your wardrobe, you don't already have any, and you want to try it out, highly recommend thrifting it, because I am so confident the thrift store is overflowing with people's old rejected long necklaces from like 12 years ago. The next look that I'm really into right now is actually not even clothing or an accessory, but it is one I am rocking right now. It's multicolored nails, specifically a different color on each nail. And this 100% came from seeing it on Pinterest. I feel like I've been seeing more detailed artistic versions of this with like different colors and patterns and little graphics on each nail for like a couple years now, right? Is that how long that's been popular? I don't keep up with nail trends because I usually never do my nails at all. The point is, I loved that more detailed artistic mismatched look, but I knew I couldn't do it myself, so I just like never considered it. I was admiring from afar only. But then I also started to see a simpler look with just a different solid color on each nail. And I was like, hold up, I can execute that. Did it take every single nail polish I own? Yes, this is all of them. But luckily, I love the color scheme they create together, and I love having my nails like this. It just feels so fun and funky and playful, and just like such a fun style customization. I feel like the idea of having your nails done in general feels very, very polished and very, very feminine to me, and neither of those words really describe my style, so really any manicure look just doesn't tend to appeal to me, but I feel like the mismatched nails really defy that idea. They feel playful, they feel artsy, and the solid colors are easy to do yourself if you suck at painting your nails. Another factor here is that I always keep my nails short. I hate having long nails, and a lot of manicure looks just like wouldn't really work or have the same effect on short nails anyway. But this one feels like it's made for short nails because it has that more playful, less polished vibe. And most of the examples I've seen have shorter nails, so it was just much easier for me to picture on my actual hands. Actually, now that I think about it, a lot of the like fun mismatch but clearly professional nails I've seen have also been on shorter nails. Are short nails just in now? Or is it just for a certain style? I don't know. People who follow nail art trends, let me know in the comments because I don't know what's going on with fingernails. All right, our last look is something I've just started to see creeping into my feeds online, and it is string belts or rope, leather cord, you know, just belts that are really more of a cord that you tie than like a true belt. And specifically, these belts styled not really as belts, like through the belt loops of pants to hold the pants up, but more so just as a styling accent layered over dresses or shirts or jackets. Really just to create a shape and add a subtle detail. In truth, it's more of a decorative waist tie than a belt, but regardless, I love how this looks. I like outfits and looks with no waistline at all. You know this if you watch my videos, but I also enjoy a defined waistline, specifically a high waist in an outfit, which most of these seem to be. But then I also do not usually like a true full-on buckle belt as the piece creating that waist definition with like a dress or a jacket, because honestly, I think they have a similar issue to me as like the retro clogs. They feel too heavy, too clunky, and they look dated to me. They bring me back to like the late 2000s, early 2010s. You know what it's giving? It's giving Disney Channel child styling. You know what I'm talking about. That's what belts over dresses and jackets reminds me of. But I love this because it's a way to add definition and create shape in an outfit and add a bit of texture and detail, but make it feel really sleek and modern and sculptural and sort of avant-garde, but also like old and traditional at the same time. Humans have been doing this for thousands of years. Sometimes the avant-garde and the ancient go hand in hand, and that might even be my favorite combination. It also seems quite easy to potentially DIY or try without buying anything. Like, I have this braided waist tie from a skirt that is still a little thicker than what I'm picturing for this, but I'm excited by the idea of trying this layered over other pieces, other dresses, maybe a jacket. I probably also have other like random things around I could try this with, maybe even just some ribbon. I don't know, that might be a little too flimsy. I'm gonna have to play around with that. But the point is, there are a lot of possibilities that are getting my creative gears turning, and I'm excited to try this out for spring and summer. All right, y'all, with that, we're done. That's all I have today. The trends and fashion looks and moments that have really just been speaking to me the most lately. As always, I would love to hear what fashion you're loving right now in the comments. Don't forget to check out ThreadUp through the link below. And I heard if you leave a comment, watch another video, like maybe this one right here, and subscribe, you'll get invited to join a community garden where you could wear your garden clogs.